I'm Kyle.
And I'm Reggie.
And this is the Biweekly Binge.
The only show that holds the mayo.
This week's topic is the two big things wrong with modern journalism, in our opinions.
Those two things are clickbait and fear-mongering. Clickbait is the act of putting something incredibly tantalizing in the title and hoping people click on it to give a site more views, which will generate more revenue.
And fear-mongering is the act of doing the same thing, only through the manipulation of people's fears.
We're going to be talking about these two forms of journalism and what's wrong with them. So without further delay, let's jump in.
This week's news story is Dexter High School making the AP Honor Roll for 2015.
This list is released every year towards the end of November and contains schools from the United States and Canada. In order to qualify for the list, a school must have increased their accessibility to AP courses and increased the percentage of students getting 3s or higher in the AP exam.
This is the second time Dexter has been on the list. The first time was when the College Board first released the list,
which was in 2011.
So congratulations to all AP students and to the school for continuing a tradition of academic excellence. Now, onto this episode's topic, clickbait and fear-mongering in journalism.
Now, before we delve into what they are and how they affect us, let's talk about why they're becoming a problem. In the ever-growing world of commercially driven media and corporate-controlled news, profit is more important than the stories. Although there are hundreds of different news sources in the world, a majority are controlled by what we call the Big Six.
The Big Six include Comcast, Walt Disney, News Corporation, Time Warner, Viacom, and CBS.
These six own everything from Fox News and CNN to Nick at Night and Paramount.
These corporations are much more interested in profit than news, and it can definitely be seen through the use of clickbait and fear-mongering, because both of those can boost ratings and in turn boost profits.
So, to generate more ad revenue, news organizations use tactics that require either no skill or the abuse of a viewer's fear.
So, let's start with the lighter one, clickbait. Clickbait is a form of online journalism that uses provocative titles to draw people's attention to said articles. And these are really easy to spot, and you probably come across hundreds every day. I mean, they're the articles with the ridiculous titles like,
Man loses 80 pounds in 1 week. Doctors hate him.
Or,
thousands of moms use this one weird trick.
Or,
32 celebrity puppies. You won't believe 26.
Those kind of titles.
And when you click on them, it's usually an ad or a poorly written article that probably only took about a minute to make or a minute to copy and paste from somewhere else.
These articles are gold mines for ads because they're usually fairly short. Companies can jam-pack them full of ads, and since they have irresistible titles, they assume people will click on them.
And when people click on them, more money will flow to the companies and more clickbait will be written.
Clickbait articles take all the fun out of journalism. If sitting at my computer trying to think of a list of different weird cat facts is the future of journalism, I probably should switch career paths. Real journalism is going out and finding like a bunch of people to talk to, researching on a certain topic, and trying to write the best story with the best factual accuracy, not making up weird diet tips.
And another huge problem with clickbait journalism is the plagiarism. We're not kidding. These stupid little articles get plagiarized all the time. Look at the former editor of BuzzFeed, Benny Johnson.
Johnson was a lead editor for BuzzFeed, writing such riveting articles as 19 dorky things you will only see at a congressional baseball game, or inside the secret Dunkin' Donuts hidden within the Library of Congress. In July of 2014, Johnson was found to have plagiarized over 40 of his articles from a number of different sources.
He plagiarized articles that not only have little value to actual journalism, but that anyone could have whipped up in a matter of seconds without even thinking about it. But that is the vibe you often get with BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed has been, and continues to be, in hot water over borrowing other people's content.
A favorite BuzzFeed hobby is to take Reddit threads or other posts from other social media websites and turn them into articles, and in very small print hidden among the page, give credit to the original authors, but sometimes not even at all. People are that lazy that they will take threads from other websites and turn the answers into a clickbait article titled 14 Foods to Eat with Rice. Number 8 will disgust you.
And to show you just how easy it is to make a clickbait article, Reggie and I have 1 minute to write something that grabs people's attention. Reggie, if you could grab all the paper. 1 minute is on the clock. And go. Time. Alright, so mine, I only got 2 things, but mine is 8 shocking weight loss tips that pharmacists don't want you to know.
I wrote 10 reasons you know you went to high school. Number 2 will make you laugh. Number 2 is you have a high school diploma. I would figure that's a good enough reason you would know that you went to high school.
That's probably true. Number 1, eat grass. Cows stay fit and all they eat is grass, so you should too.
It's very true. Yeah, that's basically the gist of my article. I feel like there's a lot of these different types of articles that 10 reasons you should know that you went to something, which is kind of dumb. Because I don't really think you should read articles to confirm that you know something.
That's true. Also, 8 shocking tips that pharmacists don't want you to know about weight loss. Pharmacists want you to know everything about weight loss, and you should always trust them.
Yeah, probably not random articles you see on the sidebars of websites.
Very true. Another way the Big Six use media for money is through fear-mongering. And now this one's a lot worse than clickbait because this one manipulates the fears of the people.
Fear is exploited by politicians, corporations, and journalists so they can stay relevant and also get more money. And it doesn't really matter if you're a Republican,
Democrat,
rich,
poor,
black,
white,
Jif,
or Skippy. Fear-mongering is everywhere. For example, 3 headlines from the 3 biggest news sources in America: Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC. Fox News.
Why you should be afraid Democrats will kill you.
CNN.
Ebola, the ISIS of biological agents.
MSNBC.
Is there a link between ISIS and climate?
All of these are real headlines used by these organizations to report the news. I don't get the reasoning behind any of them.
Well, it's because it boosts ratings and then in turn boosts profits. When people are scared by something that they see on the news, they'll keep watching the news waiting for updates on that one thing that scared them in some way.
But it should be noted that people overreacting to the news is a small minority.
But that small minority is very loud. And that's a big problem because the small, loud minority will be heard, and that can lead to hasty reactionary policies.
Just look at what happened in the US after the terrorist attacks in Paris a few weeks ago that killed 130 people. After the horrific attacks on the French capital, it was found that one of the attackers was of Syrian descent and got into the country posing as a refugee.
Once this news broke to America, 31 governors said that they would not be accepting refugees, including Rick Snyder, the governor of our state.
Because one person of 4,289,792, number according to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, was found to be a terrorist. One person caused 31 governors to close their doors to millions who wish to flee war-torn countries and come to an area where they could live without fear.
But little did they know, they would actually be moving into a region controlled by fear.
This incident wasn't really caused too much by the media, although it didn't help. But there are plenty of other cases where the media has used its power to scare people, like how all illegal immigrants are going to take our jobs.
Or how Ebola is going to kill everybody.
Or how ISIS is going to take over the US and instate Islamic rule.
Or how flying in an airplane is incredibly dangerous.
So, today's On the Streets segment revolves around the idea that people can be manipulated by the media.
Kyle and I came up with a fake story about how there was a plane crash that killed 226 people in East Pakistan,
Which is a fake country.
that ISIS was somehow responsible for.
We then ask if they would alter their plans for the holidays, like if they're going to travel with their family. We're going to hear their answer, then tell them the story isn't true.
So, without further ado, let's take to the streets.
I don't know if you've heard yet, but a plane has recently crashed in East Pakistan, killing 226 people, including 10 Americans. And ISIS has come out and claimed responsibility for it. And they also came out and said that this is not the last one, this is only the beginning, and they plan on ramping up all of their attacks, and they're making very violent threats to all Americans who are getting ready to celebrate the holidays. And so, with the holidays coming up, would you alter your plans to protect yourself and your family from this threat?
Well, what do you mean by altering my plans?
No, I didn't really have plans to go anywhere.
I mean, I don't think I would change my plans, but I mean, there's definitely more of a risk, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I think the chances are definitely a lot lower considering like upped security and stuff like that, so I think it'll be fine.
I don't see the difference in flying now as opposed to any time beforehand. I mean, there's always been terrorist attacks on planes.
But, I mean, if I did, you know, I don't really know. I never really thought about it because I don't travel, ever.
Like, well, they're saying that they're going to come out. They're going to come out more. They're going to have bombings every week. They're like going to try and really, really strike fear into the hearts of Americans.
Yeah, I think we should be careful. Just like around the times of 9/11, be careful about where we're traveling and how we're traveling. But I wouldn't say we should change our lifestyle a lot. Just be more careful. Be on watch. Definitely watch the news regularly and keep track of that kind of stuff.
But I think I might. I think I would. Or not. Maybe I wouldn't. Just stick it to them. Be like, I'm gonna go to this place because I want to. I'm not afraid of you.
I think it's important for everyone to be conscious of the threats. Whether that means more scrutiny at the airports, or if you were to change your travel plans to maybe driving. I don't travel for the holidays necessarily, but I'm not sure. I think it's a valid thing to be concerned about.
So, answers weren't as over the top as we had hoped, but it also brings up something good about fear-mongering. An individual can see through the crap.
The people we interviewed acknowledged that air travel should be monitored, but a majority also said not to jump to conclusions, which is good because nobody should do that.
Jumping to conclusions is how fear-mongering really works. Not being scared is how you combat it.
Being reasonable is a character trait a lot of us look for in people. Why not look for it in our media too?
Well, that's our show this week. Be sure to check out the other episodes on thesquall.com. And as always, my name is Kyle.
My name is Reggie.
And this has been
the Biweekly Binge.
I hope no one actually spreads it.
Yeah, me neither.